Hey, welcome back. You're listening to the Global Village show with Douglas James Cottrell hosting, and our wonderful guest today is Dr. Noah St. John, who's uh, basically laying out step by steps of how you, my friends, can be successful. Now, when I was younger, Dr. Noah, somebody asked me, "Tell me what success is." I couldn't, I could say $1 million. They could, no, no, tell me what success is. And so then they proceeded to give me a definition of what success was, and it wasn't what I thought it was. And I would look at other people, and as we all do, and wow, the big house they've got, the big car they've got, they seem to have no worries. Everything's going along smooth. That isn't true. We all know there's the front yard of the house that looks beautiful. It's the backyard with all the weeds in it. So that's
I
not true. But
love it.
but anyway, as we summarize here for the last segment of the show, people don't know what success is, and I think they don't know how to set out that they get there and they know they're successful, because success is kind of an elusive,
Yes,
multifaceted thing. But
yes.
listening to this last client or student that you were advising, and they tripled their income. I mean,
Mhm.
this isn't some sort of, learn how to invest in gold or silver or the stock market. This is how to invest in yourself. But
That's
can
right.
you finish up with, how do people get it in here that they
Mhm.
are successful already, and you're about to make them more successful, and then give them some, what can we call it? Goals or objectives or
Mhm.
signposts that they'll know that they're getting there, because success doesn't come, you start on Monday, it doesn't come Friday, right? It takes,
Usually not.
and I'm an impatient man. I could hardly wait to read your book. But the
Oh,
idea
thank
is
you.
that it takes a little longer, right? So
Yeah.
how can you, what's the word I'm looking for? How can you give an affirmation that gets
Well, I actually did actually lay this out exactly what you're asking in my book, The Seven Figure Life, the companion book to The Seven Figure Machine. So in The Seven Figure Life, I actually did lay it out because this is something that I've been wrestling with for many years and, read an insane number of books about and paid an insane amount of money to find the answer. But really, after I realized it, I was meditating one morning and it was very simple. And what I realized is success, which I actually call it the freedom lifestyle formula. It's my freedom lifestyle formula, which has 4 elements. And those elements are time, energy, relationships, and money. Now, when you look at those 4 elements of what I call a freedom lifestyle, and you can call it whatever you want, success, happiness, wealth, fulfillment, happy, it doesn't matter. But anyway, when you look at those 4 elements of time, energy, relationships, and money, then you realize that when you have an abundance of those 4 elements, you're going to be happy. You're going to be successful. You're going to feel fulfilled. You're going to feel happy. Conversely, when you don't have an abundance of those 4 elements, you're probably not going to be very fulfilled or happy, and probably not as successful as you would like to be. So you can actually, and what's so great about my freedom lifestyle formula is every single person listening to this program right now can actually take their own, as I call it, freedom temperature right now in the next 30 seconds. So what you do is you write down for time on a scale of 1 to 10, how abundant or stuck do I feel? Meaning 10, I have all the time that I need. 1 is I don't have any time, and I have too much to do and too little time. So that would be like a scale of 1 to 10. Energy, same thing. Scale of 1 to 10. 10 is I've got great energy. I'm happy. I'm joyful. I'm feeling great. 1 is I'm depressed. I'm sad. I'm frustrated, angry all the time, etc. Right. So those are the different forms of energy. The
Mhm.
third is relationships. How am I doing in my relationships? 10 is I have, the relationships that I want in my personal life and my business life. I have, my team that's helping me, supporting me, and so on. And then 1 would be the opposite of that. And same with money. Money, 10 is I've got all the money that I need to do the things that I want to do when I want to do them with the people I want to do them with. And 1 is not so much, right? So anyway, anywhere in there, and that's your, as I call it, your freedom temperature. Now, what's fascinating about that is if you scored 25 or below in your freedom temperature, you really need to get to the ICU. And what I mean by that is, let's
Well,
say you're feeling sick, you go to the doctor. What is the first thing the doctor does? He takes your temperature, right?
that's
So
right.
I just showed you how to take your own temperature. So let's say, you have a fever of 104, what are they going to do? They're going to get to the ICU right away. Well, it's the same with this. If you're scoring low on your freedom temperature, then we got to get you to the ICU now. So go to breakthroughwithnoah.com, go to sevenfiguremachinebook.com, and or just noahstjohn.com. You can find all these resources there
How
on our
about
website, noahstjohn.com. But really, the point is that's your freedom temperature, and that to me is the definition of success.
how about this one? Go to Dr. Uh, Noah St. John, first responder.
I love it.
There's a
I
title
love
for
it.
another book right
I
there.
love it. Yeah, well, that's not wrong. I mean, so yeah, I come in and I definitely do psychic surgery on people. And to get them to so that freedom temperature
Well,
goes way up.
I think failure is uh, can somewhat be a spiritually inherited disease, if you will.
Mm.
But I like your temperature because most people don't know when they're failing. They just think it's harder.
Yeah,
And the old thing is, don't work harder, work smarter. That's an
right.
old cliche from back in the day.
Yep.
My mentor, Ross Peterson, told me that.
Yep.
And again, you do need a mentor. Everybody should have a mentor because
Mhm.
it's like if you're going on safari, you need a guide, right?
That's
If,
right.
if you're going on a shipwright, you need a captain. You need somebody to show you the way.
Exactly.
So getting to those websites and getting those two books, one for the inner, convince yourself first, and then
Yep.
second, have a plan that you can track and see incrementally your success. And then they can call you up, or they can go and see you at one of your world famous seminars or talks.
Yep.
What an opportunity because you and I aren't going to be here forever, right? I mean, that's the way it
Nope.
goes.
That's the way it goes.
Now is the time to be buying those
Yes, indeed.
and getting out to see you. So as people begin to realize what their lack in success is, this is number
Mhm.
one. It's like, you know, wake up. And that's the name of my podcast, by the way, everybody, to wake up.
Mhm.
Wake up and say, I want more. I don't have to wait. I hear, though I hear people putting things off. Oh, yeah, when the kids are older, when this,
Right.
when that, and they know what time comes and it never happens. So I think for me anyway, number one failure is procrastination. I'm really good at that one. I'm successful, most successful procrastinator in the world. So as we head towards the close of the segment, could you give us some little cosmic nudges to help us get over that procrastination or just being unsure? I know you've laid it out a minute ago, but anyway, what do you
Well, procrastination is typically a manifestation of fear, meaning that you know what you should be doing, and instead you do something else, right? And why do you do that? So, for example, I'll give you, just a couple examples. I know I should read that book. I know I should write that article. I know I should make that video, but what if people don't like it? What if people make fun of me? What if it fails? What if it flops? What if it falls flat? You know what? I think I'll go watch Netflix, which makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, when I put it that way, it's like we don't want to face that fear of humiliation or failure or whatever it might be. Right. And so we go do the easy thing. Let's go watch Netflix, or whatever your procrastination is. And so the point is, yes, no, notice this all comes back to inner game, right? Everything starts up here. And so we have to confront that fear and say, oh, what am I really afraid of? Oh, I'm afraid of failing. I'm afraid of humiliation. I'm afraid of people making fun of me, whatever it might be. And then you say, well, what if that happens? What if people make fun of me? Well, who cares? I mean, that's really the answer is who cares if people make fun of you? And honestly, who cares if it fails? I mean, going back to your point from earlier, what you were saying, Douglas, is, people think that, you just snap your fingers and it succeeds. It doesn't work that way at all. I have absolutely failed, I would say 9 times out of 10 of all the different things I've tried over the years. So 90% of what I've tried has failed. But the 10%, I've done pretty well, right? The 10% that actually worked, I've done okay. So do you see what I mean? It's not about batting 1,000. It's about, to use the baseball analogy, you get 3 hits out of 10, you're in the Hall of Fame.
that?
So the
Yeah,
point is, it only takes one. It just takes one, and boom, that can change your life.
well, I've talked to when I was very young, I was about 24 or 5, and I spoke to a man who was a very successful businessman. And he told me how he had failed almost to the point of bankruptcy, if not the trustee was involved. And he said to me, that was the best lesson I ever had.
That's right.
And it taught me how to be, not to be a failure, but how to be
Right.
more successful. So
That's right.
again, if you're, I've heard that a lot, uh, try and try and try.
That's
No,
right.
attempt. No, do. And one of these times the door is going to open. So,
Yes.
uh,
Yes.
again, going back to your past, reading all those books, spending all that money to those gurus
Yep.
who made it their way, but not necessarily able to teach you. I found that people are very good at something. They're excellent, they're expert, but they can't teach it. They
That's
just
exactly right.
so here you are, you coming along and say, I could teach, I could show, I
Mhm.
could tell you, and I'm here. But I agree with you. People have to take that first step. And
Listen,
procrastination, in my own way, I'm not sure. I think I have ADHD. I had an interview with a lady, and I said, that sounds a little bit like me. But anyway, uh, my friend, you have to be brave enough, bold enough
mhm.
to look at yourself.
Yep.
And then, as you were saying, first of all, you have to decide to be successful, right?
Mhm.
So, all those people that you have on those websites that are telling their stories, they're not paid, they're not your relatives, they're not telling baloney, they are telling factual stuff. Why? Because they have proof. And Dr. Noah is the proof. So tell everybody where they can go to those amazing websites, and they too can get the seven-figure machine working for them today.
Absolutely. So for the new book, it's called The Seven Figure Machine. Just go to sevenfiguremachinebook.com. Easy to remember. Sevenfiguremachinebook.com. And you get all those awesome bonuses. And if you want to talk to me or one of my coaches, just go to breakthroughwithnoah.com. Easy to remember. Breakthrough with Noah. Just remember, Noah's the breakthrough coach. So breakthroughwithnoah.com. Watch that video training and book your complimentary breakthrough consultation so we can actually help you and show you exactly how you can install a seven-figure machine in your business to really help you to double your business or more while you actually get to win your life back.
Well, listen, it's been wonderful talking to you. If people, angels come down to help us here in the world. The Watchers are here, the Wayshowers are here, the Pathfinders are here. Somewhere in the mix, you have to be one of those folks. I think so. You've walked the walk, you've talked the talk, you've been on the path, and now you're not only been there and are able to be successful, you're not greedy, you're not hanging on to this. You're willing to, Johnny Appleseed, go out and spread the seeds around so everybody, even older people like me, can pick up the pieces of my life and get carry on with seven figures. I love the book. I love the
Thank you.
analogy of being a machine because when you start that machine up, you know what it's going to do, and
That's
it's
right.
not going to deviate. It's just going to keep on pumping out the bucks. So
Mhm.
it's been a pleasure to have you on the show,
Thank you.
and I hope to have you on again when you come up with your next 10 or 12 books or whatever. I got
I
some.
appreciate it.
I
Thank you. It's my
I
pleasure,
got some
Douglas.
of my books up here behind me,
I
so maybe
know.
I could call you up and say, "Hey, can you kind of help me with?" I, I've got some pop-up this. Could you help me with my books? But anyway, it's always a pleasure. I wish
Thank
you success, and you truly are uh, giving hope to the world, which is part of what I would like to do too.
thank you.
Well, this brings us to an end of another inspiring
Yes.
episode of the Global Village. I hope you found today's discussion as enlightening and motivating as I did. Remember, the journey to personal and spiritual growth is ongoing, and every step you take brings you closer to your goals. A big thank you to our special guest, Dr. Noah St. John. He's an amazing man for sharing his wisdom and insights with us today. Don't forget to check out his new book, The Seven Figure Machine, and explore the resources he mentioned. Until next time, my friends, keep exploring, keep growing, and stay connected to the global village of seekers and achievers. I'm Douglas James Cottrell, wishing you peace, prosperity, and a journey filled with light. Until next time, peace and prosperity.